Uh, Hello everyone. My name is Kumari Pooja, and uh, I usually come up with these sessions for legal updates since last few batches, and for 2024 batch of CLAT also I'm here with my usual series of legal updates. Now, you might have a lot of questions as to what is the purpose of this, having this session, what is the purpose of studying about legal updates, is legal concepts and legal GK not enough? Now we are getting into legal updates. What are legal updates? So I will be coming with a separate session explaining you all about what actually is the importance of legal updates and how to use it. But before that, before getting into that, I will firstly give you one or two sessions of all the current affairs that are legal related. Legal updates basically are legal current affairs. Okay, just to keep it very simple, current affairs related to legal developments that are going on around us. Because once you look at the previous question papers of CLAT, you would see that a lot of questions, right? Examiner does not ask you the questions randomly from any topic. ऐसा नहीं है कि एक दिन रात में जगे, सुबह जगे और उनको सपना आ गया कि अच्छा चलो ये टॉपिक पूछना है, ओके यू नो we should keep this question in the question paper, right? Or we should give these kind of messages in the question paper. If you would look at the previous year question, that is now not how it is actually happening. There are a lot of them which have some or other relation with current developments that are going on around us. Yeah. So why not learn about it? Because at the end of the day, once you are aware of the legal developments that are going on around you, right, it will help you in two ways. Firstly, it will help you in your legal passages that are asked, right? And then it will be easier for you to apply the principle, recognize the principle. That is the most difficult job. Recognize it and then go ahead with the solving of the question. Secondly, it will help you in your legal GK also, because every legal current affair has some legal GK attached to it. Correct? There are certain static GK, there are certain static legal portion which you are supposed to know, right? Which are very general. So that is what is my purpose for having these set of sessions, and I will be coming up with these sessions quite often now till your examination, right? So let's start with the first session, first legal update. That would be basic structure doctrine. So recently, last month in January around, not last one, last to last month, in January around, the vice president of our country, Jagdeep Dhankhar ji, he had a lot of things to say about the basic structure of and the NJAC, basically our country, that the collegium system through which we appoint Supreme Court judges, right? So basically, he was targeting the basic structure. He thought, it's his thought, that basic structure has become a tool for the Supreme Court to, cancel out the amendments, cancel out the to strike down the laws and all those stuff. So that is the debate that is going on now. Who says what is not our business, correct? We do not care about it. Of course, we should know about it because we are living in India. But what is important here? Important is basic structure. Now, this word should catch your attention here. What is basic structure? How did we get this formula? कहाँ से आ गई? ये तो constitution में कहीं नहीं लिखा. What is basic structure is not mentioned in the constitution, but still it applies in the constitutional law, right? So basically, it was a doctrine that was given by the Supreme Court long back in 1973 in Keshavananda Bharti case. Mind you that you're going to listen to this name, Keshavananda Bharti case, throughout your legal career, right? So I think maybe today can be a first day of hearing this word or hearing to this case, right? So basically, wherein it, in this case, it was said that there are certain basic features of the Constitution. So no matter whatever you want to amend, you can amend everything, but you cannot touch the basic structure of the Constitution. Basic structure of the Constitution cannot be violated. It cannot be amended. So there is always a scope of judicial review. There is always a scope of applying rule of law, federalism, right? All of these are such basic structures which you cannot touch. You cannot say that such and such thing is not subject to judicial review, because judicial review is basic structure. You cannot say that we can, disturb all the federal structure of our country. Why? Because federalism, right? That is a basic structure. Of course, we have a quasi-federal system, but that is a basic structure of our constitution, right? So no matter what law parliament brings or whatever happens in India with regard to the introduction of new laws, but the basic structure cannot be amended. Now, what is the significance? Why basic structure? Why has it become so important, and why it has become such a hot topic of discussion, and now it is being criticized so much? Firstly, it is very important because we are ruled by the majority, the ruling party that is in majority, right? So there would be a lot of times wherein they can have a majority in the parliament. Now, for any amendment in the constitution, certain majority would be required, है ना? It doesn't happen कि एक ऐसे एक दिन सपना आया और चलो आज नया लॉ बनाते हैं, चलो आज नया लॉ चेंज करते हैं. Correct? Of course, that is not going to happen. There would be certain logic, कुछ तो पीछे background रहा होगा. Now, for that law is introduced in parliament. Correct? Lot of bhashanbazi, lot of arguments, lot of discussion, rigorous discussions take place, and then at the end hum dekhte hain that there is a certain amendment, there is certain law that is introduced to us. Correct? Now, which means there's a majority that goes around every bill, every amendment, everything, right, in the parliament. So when there is a majority involved, and if there is a ruling party that gets the majority, there's no coalition government but a majority kind of government, there would always be a threat to constitution. They can always, if there's a party who is at majority, there would always be a threat to constitution of getting a majority and getting the amendment tweaked. Correct? In order to protect the constitution, that is, it is a shield. It's like a shield for the constitution that Supreme Court introduced the concept of basic structure. Right? Now, it is being criticized very, general kind of point, and that is that it was not present in the constitution. Constituent Assembly ने तो ऐसा कुछ भी नहीं mention किया constitution, तो आप कहाँ से लेके आ रहे हो ये concept को, है ना? तो this is what is the ground on which is being criticized. However, we'll see a lot of discussions. These kind of discussions keep going on. We'll enjoy it while reading newspapers. But that mudda is not our mudda. Our mudda is only to learn about the basic structure for that examination. Other than this, interested in politics, please go ahead, read more about it. Moving on, next, very hot topic. There's always two groups fighting for it. That is Uniform Civil Code. Yes. Basically, Uttarakhand and Gujarat government, they were trying to constitute certain committee to, get into this experimentation study and all of that for the UCC in their respective state. Now, what is UCC? UCC basically means having one law for all the communities. Personal. So currently we have different laws for different communities. Like for Hindus, we have Hindu-related personal laws. Personal laws, I'll tell you what it is. For Muslim also, we have different laws. So there are separate set of laws for the personal laws. Now, personal law basically means laws related to marriage, divorce, alimony, inheritance, adoption. All of these are the personal laws. So every community, they will have their own code of personal laws currently. So there's this Article 44 that is actually a DSP in our constitution, which says that states shall endeavor to secure UCC. Means Constituent Assembly, when they were writing constitution, they wanted us to work in such a way that somehow we end up having a UCC. For timing, let's have separate laws for personal laws for different communities, right? So accordingly, Uttarakhand and Gujarat government already started having UCC, jiske upar lot of again issues started happening, and PILs were filed in Supreme Court. However, Supreme Court rejected all of them. And there's this information that I'll give you. In Goa, UCC is followed, right? It is still applicable already. Now, so what is UCC? What is personal laws? So basically, personal laws are mentioned in the concurrent list, and it applies to the specific community. right? And UCC is basically here to combat it, to nullify all such personal codified laws. Correct? Now, why is it important? Because these things are being used, these personal laws are being used by the politicians for the communal politics, right? But on the other hand, there is this criticism that UCC would go against Article 25 that gives us the right to, profess and propagate all our religion, whatever religion we want to follow, we can follow, right? So that is a slight criticism that goes here. However, there are certain statements that have been given by the Law Commission while they were experimenting, when they were not experimenting, but they were researching, when they were, writing their report. So they said that UCC is neither necessary nor desirable at this stage in the country. So this was it's not very long back, just few years back, Law Commission of India said this. And there's one more challenge here, and that is that one nation, one law, right? We want to follow this. That's a great thing, right? But the thing is, the kind of diversity, the kind of plurality that we have in our country, right? In that structure, maybe UCC can become a bit difficult for certain communities, or it can become a bit difficult to be introduced, right? So yeah, we'll see what happens in future. Again, that is not our mudda. Our mudda is what is UCC, what are the significance and all of that, so that just in case if you get any passage from UCC, you're good to go. Next is, can an underage Muslim girl marry after attaining puberty? Usually law says a girl, the age of marriage for a girl is 8. Now it is going to be amended. Of course, वो bill वगैरह सब कुछ आ गया है for 21 years. But अभी वो, that is not our again, because that has not been implemented yet. Yeah. Yes. So, but in Muslim law, there is this exception. There, if a girl is even 15 years of age, she can marry. So now the Supreme Court has taken up this question that 15-year girl is not, matured enough to understand this marriage and whether, what is happening to her is right or wrong. Correct. And on the other hand, it is illegal also in statutory eyes. So how we should take it, basically. So currently, how do we decide what is the age of marriage? It is decided by the personal laws, the set of personal laws. I told you, laws related to marriage, divorce, adoption, all of these are taken care of by the personal laws. Which are the laws that we have for the prohibition of child marriage? There are two laws: Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006, and another one in 2012, that is Protection of Child from Sexual Offences Act. We'll discuss about it in some session for sure. POSCO Act. It is very, again, a very debatable topic. People keep talking about it every now and then because there are a lot of cases that we keep seeing on this particular area. Next is very interesting one, inclusivity in judiciary. So our Chief Justice, that is Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, who gave the judgment in Navteej Singh Johar case in 2018. So basically that was a case wherein Article 377 was decriminalized. Yeah, LGBTQ were given certain rights. Not rights, but it was decriminalized. Now, so recently they have decided to appoint 5 advocates as High Court judges, and one of them is our Mr. Saurabh Kirpal, who belongs to an LGBTQ community, right? So his name is also being proposed, which is again, it is to ensure that, once the Supreme Court has given this verdict that it has been decriminalized. On the other hand, this is also very important to ensure that, Supreme Court should also follow it. So that is what is the ground for such decision. And it would not be, if it gets rejected, it would be a doctrine of manifest arbitrariness. Basically means something which is drastically unreasonable, jiska koi reason hi nahi hai dur tak, or which is extremely irrational or capricious, right? So that is what it would be if it gets rejected. Then comes reforming of Collegium. So Union for Law and Justice, they are basically proposing that there should be a nominee of government also in the Collegium system through which Supreme Court judges are elected. That is not important. Our main point here is MOP that he has raised. MOP means Memorandum of Procedure. And so basically, what is it? It is a official playbook, okay, which is agreed upon by the government as well as the collegium system. So there are a lot of rules and regulations that are written. Now, this MOP has not been finalized yet. Collegium system जिस हिसाब से सुप्रीम कोर्ट जजेस को इलेक्ट करते हैं, that MOP is not finalized yet. That is a problem, and that is what is the situation that is going on around it. So there can be a passage on this also. Just be familiar with this word. Do not get in very much into depth of it. ठीक है, कोई भी टॉपिक पे बहुत ज्यादा डेप्थ में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है. You need not require that. Just be on the surface. Just know about it. Right. So yes, that would be it from my side, guys. Thank you so much and all the very best.